All right. Well, all right. So, hey everyone. Good afternoon. And just like what Camille said, we are going to go ahead and get started so that way we can just go ahead and be on schedule and just be on time. And for those that are going to come in, welcome. And for those that are already here, welcome. And so it's really nice to just kind of see how this is all playing out so far. I know that we've been in talks about having our first statewide all call. So we finally get to do that this evening. So that's exciting. And just to have fun on tonight and just kind of, talking about things that are going to be worthwhile as we get ready for our break. Just lots of good things in store. And just to welcome everybody that will be on tonight as early educators. And just to know that you all are appreciated, seen, heard, valued, and we just want everybody to have a wonderful time on tonight, answering any questions that you have for our layout on tonight. And that way we can just get you guys squared away. So we are excited and welcome. All right, and I think we have Todd. Todd, can you hear us?
I can always hear you.
Hey,
all
Todd.
the time. I know your voice a mile away.
Hey, Todd. Well, it says that you are the host, so we'll go ahead and swing it your way.
Okay, I'm just filling in for Keneal and making sure that you guys have a nice meeting here. And welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. So good to see your faces again. And hey, Todd Scholl, I didn't even see you up there. Good to see Todd Scholl in the house. So yeah, I'm gonna turn it back. Are you the chair, Alexandria?
Co-chair.
So co-chair, do you have an agenda?
Yes. So for tonight, the agenda is as followed. And then Camille also said too that she will do the recording session of it and then have it sent out to the members that registered. So tonight it's just pretty much, the introduction and then learning more about the website that we have for Scene, what is Scene, and then that way people can have a chance to share in the comments and just kind of get their thoughts about our new moniker that we have for our early educators. And then also just understanding who our representatives are. So for the Midlands, we have Sierra Robinson and Ajon Brown. For the PD region, we have Angelica McDonald and Haley Miller, as well as Tyler Gross. And then for the Low Country region, we have myself. And then for the Upstate region, we have Brianna Millage. And then also to the layout tonight with Todd Scholl giving mindfulness practices. Angelica will be talking about some glows and growths for this school year. I'll be talking about budgeting and, for those that have any questions about their paychecks and what that's going to look like. And then Brianna will be discussing our member benefits marketplace that we have. And Tyler will also be discussing our newsletters. And then Ajon will be rounding us up with closing remarks. So it's a pretty good lineup that we have for this evening.
That's a heck of a lineup, and you even have Brandy in the room. Maybe she'll turn her camera on so you can see your Midlands Uniserve rep.
Probably not.
All right, so let's see here. Okay. So do any of the reps want to say anything before we get started, or?
I just wanted to introduce everyone. Hi, I'm Brianna Millage. I am the other co-chair of the South Carolina Early and Noble Educators, aka Scene, and we're excited to have you all here today. And we're really excited to share this community with you all. It's a community for us, by us. So yeah. And that's it.
Guys, I'm very sorry if I'm having tech problems. I'm using my iPad, so everyone knows my other laptop died because of water. So I'm trying to use my iPad. So if you see me moving a lot, I'm just, typing in. But again, welcome everybody. I'm in the PD region. My name is Angelica. And in the comments, I also posted a video as well, so you can look at your own leisure. It's regarding SEEN as well, so you can learn more about SEEN that way. But again, we're just glad that you all are here, even if you're just watching the recording. But even as you're watching through, don't forget to still, you can still participate, even if you're watching it at a later time.
Awesome. What about anybody else?
Hi everyone, sorry my camera's off. I'm just now leaving school. But I hope everyone had a great day, and I'm so excited we get to have our first all-region call. My name is Tyler, and I am in the PD area as well. And I think we're just gonna get a lot out of this call. I'm excited that we get to share with y'all some things we've been talking and working on behind closed doors to share with you everyone on the call.
Awesome. And anybody else? You guys are doing amazing, by the way, with these introductions. Anybody else would like to share? All right, so what we're gonna do, and I think Todd, with you being the host, if you just wanna go ahead and introduce the other Todd. So we always have our two Todds here, Todd Jake and Todd Scholl. But if you wanna go ahead and introduce Todd Scholl, that would be great. And then that way we can just kind of open up the conversation of mindfulness and how is that gonna help us over our break as we begin to pack our classrooms up just a little bit and just kind of enjoying this time over the holidays and being with our loved ones.
Yeah, so I will introduce you to my friend Todd 2.0, soon to be Todd 1.0, moving into the 1.0 chair soon. And he really is the guru, the expert in this state as it comes to mindfulness, educator wellness, learning, and all that through the Center for Educator Wellness and Learning. But you're in good hands tonight with Todd, as he presents some tips and tricks for you on mindfulness. Is that the topic tonight, Todd?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. It's all yours.
I appreciate it. So thanks so much for having me tonight. I was told 15 minutes, which is a very short amount of time to talk about a really complex subject, but I'm going to do my best. And rather than just pull out a PowerPoint, I'm going to just speak to you from the heart as educators about this really, really important subject. The profession, first of all, I want to say thank you for your leadership and thank you for what you're doing. Teaching is, I love that you put noble in your name, because it is a noble profession and it's an important profession. And it's one that is, to me, too often disrespected and undervalued. It's undervalued in terms of wages, it's disrespected in terms of you're not being heard. Policy really should be coming from your classroom up, and we should be informing people up the chain. And unfortunately, we have a system where it's very top down, where things come down from the federal level to the State Department, from the State Department to your district, and the district to your school, and from your administrator into your classroom. And that's really the reverse of the way it should be. And it's that way. It started really when I was in school after a report came out by the Reagan administration called The Nation at Risk. And that report misidentified the fact that the problem was we just need to hold teachers more accountable. They're not being held accountable. So we've got to implement really strict standardized testing and really, really push, tie money and funding to these tests in order to hold the teachers who are lazy. And they would blame teachers unions for keeping bad teachers. They completely misidentified and misdiagnosed the problem. But the thing is, that accountability system that was created in the 80s has only gotten worse over the past 3 to 4 decades. And now so much about what happens in a school is tied to standardized testing. Now, what does this have to do with mindfulness? There are so many things that are sacrificed in our goal to improve data, in our goal to improve standardized testing scores, that my belief is that we've dehumanized the process of education and stripped out a lot of what human beings need to flourish, what human beings need to be mentally well, physically well, socially and emotionally well. And so my goal in setting up this Center for Educator Wellness and Learning, and I put the URL in the chat. The goal is to improve your lives and to rehumanize the profession and rehumanize the system. The problem isn't the teachers. The problem isn't the students. The problem is the system that you find yourselves in. And until we awaken to the fact that it's the system that has to be kind of deconstructed and reformed in a way that does put as a primary mission the human needs of the people attending the building, going to the building, all educators, all students, prioritizing their mental well-being, their physical well-being. And then what we'll do is, if we do that, test scores will naturally come up. If we take care of human beings' needs, eventually those scores will come up vicariously. But by myopically focusing on the test first and putting aside all the human needs, we are creating a generation. Well, first of all, the numbers don't lie. We have over 1,600 teaching vacancies across the state. We have a real hard time recruiting young people like you, great young people like you, into the profession, and keeping great teachers like you in the profession. And that's just a fact. And we have a record number of mental health problems with our students and teachers, anxiety, depression, all kinds of mental health disorders that are not being identified or addressed. So my goal in implementing mindfulness, I started presenting on this about 10 years ago, is to start to rehumanize the system. And so how does mindfulness do that? Why do we need to start there? Mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment and dropping judgment about it. It's letting go of the time travel that we tend to do in our minds. And we do this especially as teachers. We go through a difficult day and we come home and we perseverate on the things that went wrong. And then we worry about what's going to go wrong tomorrow. Or maybe over the break, you're going home and you're worried about some things that might happen when you go home, or you may have an argument and then you can't let that go. Mindfulness is the capacity to not only pay attention to what's happening in the present moment, but to kind of let go of the past and let go about ruminating about the future. And the byproduct of your capacity to do that is that you'll feel more moments of peace and joy. So you're creating conditions in your mind where you will experience more joy and peace, which feels good. So how do you cultivate mindfulness? How do you cultivate that? Because it is a skill that you have to learn, just like the violin or just like, playing a sport. You have to create the neural networks to be mindful. You don't do that naturally. Naturally, human beings really do spend a lot of time thinking about what went wrong or could go wrong. And we do that as a survival instinct. It's biologically engineered into our brains, into our DNA, to pay attention to all the things that are wrong. This is called negativity bias. So we're really good at remembering and thinking about the things that could go wrong, right? So in order to undo that programming that we all have, we have to train ourselves. And so we're going to do the training tonight. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can do it through yoga. You can do it through going on mindful walks. We're going to do just a simple breathing practice that I'm going to invite you to do tonight with me. I would invite you to try this practice out. And what you'll notice is when you practice this consistently, you'll probably have a greater capacity to let go of the things that went wrong in your day and to let go of worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow so that you can enjoy right now. Because right now, that's when your life's happening. The past and the future are just constructs of the mind. They're just thoughts of the mind. But if we allow those thoughts to dominate our state of consciousness and they're negative, then our state of consciousness is negative and we feel unpleasant emotions that are associated with that. Worry, regret, guilt, shame, all anxiety, all of that. So I invite you to do this practice with me. And the science behind this practice is what we're doing is we're dampening this default mode network, which is part of the brain that gets us in this time travel mode. We're going to dampen that. And we're going to also increase the prefrontal cortex, the energy in the prefrontal cortex. We're also going to dampen the reactivity of the amygdala, which is what sets off fight or flight. So that's the science behind it for any of you who are like, this sounds woo-woo, I don't know. So let's do this. I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Sit up straight, not rigid, but sit up straight. And then just take a few breaths and notice where your mind has been since this meeting has started. Have you been thinking about the things that happened during your school day? Have you been thinking about stuff you got to do after this meeting? Are you in resistance to this? Like, when is this going to be over? What's going on in your mind? And just take a few breaths and see what you notice. What have you been aware of since we started? And then what I want you to notice is that your awareness can be directed wherever you want it to be. So I'm going to have you just direct your awareness to the feeling of your feet on the ground. Just notice your feet making contact with the ground. What does that feel like? Where can you direct your attention to that sensation? Now, before I said that, your feet were making contact with the ground probably, but you weren't paying attention to that contact. Your brain was somewhere else, right? Now I'm asking you to direct it there. And now I want you to direct your attention to, if you're sitting down, how your bottom feels in the seat. And notice that you're shifting that awareness to that sensation. So we can consciously choose where we direct our awareness. And now I want you to direct your awareness to the sensation of your breath. And the reason why we do that as a practice is because the breath is always occurring in the present moment. The breath, the inhale and the exhale are always occurring now. And so if I can train my attention to the sensation of my breath, then I'm actually building the neural architecture I need to pay attention to the present moment. So I want you to do that. Find your breath wherever you feel it the most. It could be your nose, your throat, your chest, or your belly. Where do you notice your breath the most? And direct your awareness and attention to that. And just find it. See if you can follow 4 breaths in a row, all the way inhaling, all the way exhaling, and just notice that sensation. Now we do this because this anchors us to the present moment. But what the brain is going to do, because it's habitual, this is like this habit, this pattern, this program that is running, the brain's going to say, listen, hey, I do this. The autonomic nervous system covers this. You don't have to think about your breathing. I just do it for you. Let's problem solve instead. Let's think about that difficult parent or student, or the thing that one of your colleagues or administrator said today that bothered you. Or let's think about like what you have to do, all the things you have to do this week. Let's think about like the chores you have left to do, the laundry. Let's think about some other problem that you're having, because the breath isn't important. So what I want you to do when you notice that your attention is no longer on the breath and it's thinking about a problem, or it's, just not paying attention to the breath, don't judge yourself or say, oh, I'm bad at this, I can't do this. Just notice that. Notice this is just a scientific observation of how your brain creates these thoughts. And you're trying to pay attention to your breath and you can't for longer than a few breaths, because the brain conjures up these things for you to think about. The thoughts that you have are not the problem. So we're not trying to stop thought or push thought away. What we're trying to do is take some control back of our awareness and just keep coming back to the breath. So as soon as you notice you're not paying attention to the breath, come back to the breath. Just gently, just acknowledge that, like, oh, I'm not paying attention to my breath. Let me just come back there and see if you can stay with it for another 3 or 4 breaths or longer. If it helps, you can count your breaths, or you can label the inhale and the exhale. And what we're doing through this process, you can't do this wrong. As long as you're doing that, as long as you're trying to pay attention to the breath, and then noticing when you're not paying attention and coming back, that's the practice. And that has been proven to build the neural architecture that you need, so that when you get ruminating about something that's really stressing you out and you're like, I can't let this go, this is the neural architecture to help you let it go, so you can come back to the present moment. So take a few more breaths and just notice that. Notice that. I'm going to be quiet for a minute and let you just do for a minute solid. Notice how many thoughts come up. and how many times you get distracted by them. Okay. Take a couple more deep breaths and slow your breath down. This is the other thing you can do with your breath is when you're feeling anxious or stressed out, you intentionally slow down your breath. And what that does, when you're stressed out, your breath usually is like this. It's short and shallow. And that's because the brain is in a stress response and is saying we need more oxygen to handle whatever this stress is, whatever this threat is. But if you consciously control the breath to slow it down, you're sending a reverse signal to the brain. And that reverse signal is we're not under threat, we're okay. The thing that you're perceiving as stressful or threatening, we're okay. And this activates the parasympathetic part of the nervous system, which slows you down, calms, quiets. So we slow down the breath. Now I invite you to open your eyes. So if you're interested in learning more about this, you can go to the cool website. I put it in the chat. And the last thing I want to say about it is this. I think this is primary because when we build a capacity to pay attention on purpose to the present moment, and we become aware of what's going on instead of getting lost in the system that we're in, we have the chance to think about how do we create a more humanistic system. And it's your generation that's going to have to do this. Your generation has got to demand that your physical, mental, social, emotional well-being is a priority within the system, and that your students' wellness is as well. Because without that, all we're going to do is we're going to keep calcifying a system and putting it on steroids that, like, the most important thing, we've got to be urgently driven to improve the data. And that is counterproductive to human wellness in the long term. We can have great academic achievement. We can have students learning and excelling and growing, and also simultaneously do what humans need to flourish holistically. So that's the kind of system that I'm envisioning, and that's the kind of work that we're trying to do at our Center for Educator Wellness and Learning. I invite you to look at the resources there, advocating on the outside for the right kind of policy, but also advocating for opportunities like retreats, yoga, and other wellness resources so that you're taking care of yourself. Make yourselves a priority. Make your nutrition, your exercise, your mental health. If you need therapy, get therapy. If you need checkups or you need a mammogram, whatever you need, make those things a priority. Don't make the thing that a lot of teachers you'll see them do. They keep putting their wellness on the back burner. And then 20, 30 years down the road, they've got a health crisis. I don't want that to happen to any of you. Take care of yourselves first. It's not selfish. It's actually the thing you need to do to stay in this profession long term so that you can be there for your students. And you need to encourage all of your colleagues to do the same. That's about all my time. Does anybody have any questions? You can put them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and I'll take a couple of questions and then we'll move on.
Todd, I do have a quick question.
Okay.
So I know with me, or like with sometimes when I'm talking to my students and I am trying to get them to breathe, how long, like I know I do with myself, but sometimes, you know, you have students who come in who are very maybe anxious, maybe it's because of a test or anything. When they are doing the breathing exercises, is it like, should we time? Because I know with one kid, I try to time him a little bit because I don't want them to spend like the entire time, but I also want them to have the strategies later because I don't want to, you know, for them to feel like they're being crippled in a way. Because, you know, hopefully my question makes sense.
Yes. So all mindfulness practices, to be trauma sensitive, need to be invitational. So there should never be a direction to say, hey, now it's time, we're going to do mindfulness and everybody's required to do it. It should be like, here, I'm going to let you know about some things that are shown to help calm anxiety and calm stress. If you want to try them, here's some things you can do. One thing you can do that's really simple. It's called starfish breathing or take 5 breathing. And you just have the student trace their hand. And so as they trace their thumb up, they're breathing in. As they trace down, they're breathing out. And they can do this underneath their desk if they don't want to hold up their hand, but you just show them that they're very slowly tracing their hand. And as they go up a finger, they're breathing in. And as they go down, they're breathing out. And this tactile sensation and this intentionally slowing down of the breath is what will help them. And sometimes that's enough. Just do that a couple of times, trace the hand a couple of times and slow down. For some students who are dealing with a real significant issue with anxiety, closing the eyes and doing what we just did actually will exacerbate their situation. Like if they just come from a traumatic situation at home, now you're having them close their eyes and they're stuck with imagining that. What they actually need is some type of different modality. It could be coloring, it could be fidgeting with something, it could be some walking or some type of movement. So offer a variety of different ways for them to, what you're trying to do is shift attention away from the shit, in their mind to something that's in front of them. That could be their breath. It could be their hand. It could be an activity. Shifting that attention away from the rumination of whatever it is that's going on in their mind. So there's no prescription for how to do this. Like everybody does it in different ways. The key though is always invitational, never forced. And you can model this for them and give them a variety of different ways to practice.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions before I log off? Okay, I'm going to put my email address in there if you do want to ask a question later on. And I'll put the website, it's cool.us. Just go there, sell.us, cool. Again. Just a little promo. Angelica and I are going to be doing an induction podcast tonight at 7:00. If you want to check that out, we're going to be talking about collaborative learning community. So thanks again for everything you're doing. I love it. I love you guys. You're amazing leaders. You inspire me all the time. And you guys are the key to you're the catalyst that's going to create a better system of education for teachers and students. I know that for a fact, and I thank you for that. So
Todd, thank you so much. And just to remind us to be present. You know, I think sometimes even with our job, you know, we get pulled in so many different directions as soon as we walk through the door. And like you said, sometimes you just need that moment to scale back and to just say, okay, wait a minute, you know, yes, I am an educator. Yes, you know, I'm doing all these roles, but I'm still me, you know, and if you can't pour into your cup, then you can never give that same cup to your kids and to your community. So that is always something that I try to think of for myself when I walk through the door of, hey, you know, yes, this is my role, but, you know, I still got to take care of me too. And it's not selfish, but it's also being selfless. So we appreciate you for that.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Y'all have a great rest of your meeting and reach out to me if you have any needs or questions.
Thank you so much, Todd.
Bye-bye.
Y'all, that was amazing. And like what Todd was saying, like anytime we can ever get him on for anything, we know that it's going to be good and something that's worthwhile to take and just kind of put that into your mental Rolodex of, okay, yes, this is my profession, but you know, I still got to take care of me and make sure that I'm good too. So that was amazing. And in lieu of that, we have Angelica here, y'all. Angelica, she has a lot going on in her region as well. Definitely saw some posts that you got for just, different recognitions that you've been doing throughout your school, and just your podcast that you all have as well, working together. So if you guys have a chance, definitely check out her podcast with Todd. They do amazing things over there on the cool side. And so, Angelica, why don't you tell us about some glows and grows to help us for our winter break?
Definitely. Thank you, Alexandra. And nice intro. So that was a really nice intro. Felt better about myself. So, everybody. So again, tonight at 7, me and Todd are going to do a podcast with Marcella. So if you can join in later on, we'll love to see you guys. But today we're just going to start off with some glows and some grows. Has everyone maybe have heard of that? I didn't really know about this until I was student teaching, and my uncle was a principal. So of course I was just kind of what Todd was saying, was stressed out, and I wanted to figure out I'm always a perfectionist, like how can I be better? But I always kept thinking about the bad things I was doing, but never the good things. So my uncle told me, he said, Angelica, just every day get a journal and write out your glows and your grows. So your glows are the things, the good things that happen in your life. So maybe something small, maybe someone bought you Starbucks that day, or maybe you got on work on time. That is a glow, something exciting that happened. And then the grow is just something you feel like you can do better at. So maybe you didn't talk to the student in the right way. Maybe you had a conflict with a coworker, or maybe you came to work late that day. So sometimes you might have more grows than glows, but you also notice it says grow. So it's not a stopping point, but how can you become better? Because with all of us as individuals, it doesn't matter if you're 60 years old or 10 years old, we all can grow in other areas. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do, just think about this whole semester so far. The reason I keep saying semester, I'm high school, I teach high school. So we're about to finish off this week, and next, after January, we'll have a whole new semester, but kind of think about the last, this year so far. So what we're going to do, you're going to type it in the group chat, but you're not going to post it just yet. We're going to do something called a waterfall. So write down one grow that you wish you can improve on. I'm just going to type that in the group chat. And then also beside it, write down one glow. So what's something that you felt like was amazing this year? So for example, a grow for me is probably more with my patience. I thought I was a patient person until maybe like this year I had a different class and I learned I could grow a lot in my patience. I have grown in that, but I can do better in certain areas. But then a glow, I would say, is that a lot of my former students keep coming by to say hey to me. So it makes me know that I am making a difference. So that was like a glow in my, this year that I'm thinking of. So just for a moment, I'll give you guys maybe like a minute. Just type in the group chat, what is one grow? So start off with your grows first, and then with the glow. And then a moment, I'll say post, and you can just go ahead and post it in a moment. Okay? Or if you already posted, that's okay.
My bad, Angela.
You're fine. I've never done a waterfall, so this is interesting. So I'll give you guys a minute. And even for those who are watching the recording, I'll still encourage you to do that. Like get a notebook, sheet of paper, sticky note, write out your glows and grows. Do that at least once a week, but go ahead and write that down. Alrighty, guys. So in just a minute, go ahead and post it in the group chat. So what were your glows and your grows for this year? Uh-oh. I'm on my iPad, so this is jumping all at me at one time. All right, I see a glow. I can work on taking more time for myself and not being stressed out over overthinking things. Definitely. Glow, I have a great job establishing community and family in my classroom. Awesome, awesome. Glow, positive student-teacher relationships. Grow, procrastinating with grading. Me too. I'm trying to get it all done today, so I don't have to worry about it over break. Doing that right now. Another grow, working on staying top of grading. Yes, and paperwork. But a glow, building relationships with students. Grow, classroom management skills. Amen. And then some glow, seeing the relationship form with my students. Awesome, awesome. Also see, are we getting a gift card for this session? I am not sure. I haven't heard anything about that, but I'm not sure. I'm sorry. But so far, I'm seeing a lot of glows and grows. So a lot of what, as everyone is saying, is kind of probably the same thing. Does everyone kind of agree with everyone's grows? Maybe class management, paperwork, grading. As an English teacher, it takes me forever to grade. My kids expect me to grade it that day when they give me the essay. No, at least give me 2 weeks. So, all those things are piling up. But then again, we also have some glow. So a lot of us are saying positive student relationships. So we're kind of seeing we are making a difference. So no matter what we're going through, just know no matter when, every time you come in that classroom, you are making a difference. Maybe it's just you smiling towards that student or just, engaging with them. So just note that you are making a difference. So again, with these glows and grows, like I would do this at least once a week, especially my first year teaching. I did this like twice a week. Just so, I can see like I am growing. Maybe I'll look back at my grows and like, wow, I actually grew from that. I'm actually faster, maybe grading, or I'm getting, maybe I had a rocky relationship with a student. Then I'll notice the next week it got better. So always go back and just reflect. So again, it also helps with your mental health as well. So you can always see that you're not by yourself. So as we all can see, we are all dealing with similar things, but again, we are growing. So we don't want to stay in the same spot. Yeah, but does anyone have any other glows and grows they want to share? Or I think that's all in the group chat. Let me see. One more, coordinating the class with perfect decorum when lecture is on. All right, good. Well, thank you guys for participating in glows and grows. But again, just get a journal and, continue doing that throughout the year. Definitely. So Alexandra, I'm going to post it back to you because I know you have some good tips or some ideas regarding budgeting because, winter break is coming up and I know I definitely need some help. So.
Yes. And what is the thing, like they say, like winter is coming? Like, yeah, that type of thing. But no, this was amazing. And you guys, like, if you do have that chance, like even when your kids go to fine arts or something, or even if you're doing planning, just kind of like a little notebook beside you or even your phone and just kind of jot down some things of like, hey, this was a growth for me today. I'm learning in this area. It doesn't mean that you fail because guess what? We're all learning. We don't have the answers. And it's always going to be something new, and always take those glows with you to know that you're doing a great job. So don't ever beat yourself up to think that you're not doing a good job because we see you guys out there rocking it online, social media. You guys are doing amazing. But yes, y'all, one of the things to talk about is finances, y'all. So as we get ready for our break, we all know that we do have paychecks coming in. And we are very excited. However, getting some tips on saving our money so that way we're not getting into like winter blues type of thing, because I know that we are out. We have our Christmas list ready. We have our gift cards ready to go. But do you have something saved for you? So one thing that I wanted to talk about with budgeting, I'm not going to hold you guys long, is just when you guys get your paychecks, make sure that you are saving for you as well. I know sometimes depending on the districts, they will kind of send you guys maybe one check, here, and then you get the same check maybe like a little bit later on. I know for my district, we actually get paid twice this month, and then we don't get paid again until the middle of January. And so with that, you definitely kind of have to think ahead as to, okay, my expenditures here, what can I, kind of put to the side, maybe for a little rainy day and still be good to go. So one thing that I would kind of mention, and like I said, not getting privy into finances, but if you have an idea as to making like, a finance chart, kind of sit down and kind of look at your expenses for this month. We know that rent is one of those bigger things that has to come out. So if you can, kind of just, tally up your costs, rent, utilities, and, use your paychecks there half and half. And then that way, when January rolls around, you don't have to worry about doing it. It's kind of like you're already set. And then just kind of looking at those bills that you can go ahead and pay. And if there are some things that you need some time, kind of call those companies and say, hey, I'm looking at this bill. It's X amount of money. Could I maybe have an extension? And, maybe half the time they will work with you and just say, hey, as long as you have it before the end of January, you should be good. And you won't go into like a default or anything, but just to make sure that you do have something for you. I know a lot of times, we look at our paychecks and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to buy X, Y, and Z. But then, other things kind of happen. And so just having those saving practices to where you're set, you're good, but also making sure, you're not feeling like you're swimming underwater under the holidays, because we don't want anybody to feel like that. And another thing too, check and see if your district actually gave out bonuses. I know that our district did, so we are very excited here in DD2 that we got our bonuses, and they will be coming this month. So kind of be on the lookout for that too. And, and just use that money how you see fit for yourself, but also making sure that you are comfortable. So even if you need to kind of write a list down and buy some things in bulk, so that way you're not just always constantly out over the break. Like I said, once again, however you spend your money is your business. But, just making sure that you have like your little nest egg and that you're set and ready for the holidays. So those are just some little budgeting tips there, looking at your paychecks and taking those things out of what's needed. And then that way you can save some for yourself.
Thank you for those tips. I wish I knew my first year. I thought I got a bonus, but they were just sending us our money early. So
Yes.
also check for look at your district's salary calendar and make sure. I didn't know until I was still good because I had money in savings, so I was good. But I wish someone let me know early, or I somehow knew that I was getting paid early. I wasn't getting a bonus. I thought I was going to have a good bonus that year. It was not a bonus.
Yes, absolutely. And and those learning experiences, and that's why we're here tonight, to help our early educators to know, like, hey, we see y'all out there, and if y'all have any questions about anything, do not hesitate to reach out to any of us in your respective areas in the South Carolina state. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and head over to our member benefits marketplace with Brianna. So Brianna, if you're still online, go ahead and share.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So the reason why we're all here, obviously, is to understand how we can help each other as well as help ourselves. So I'm just gonna be honest with you. Some of us like to help ourselves sometimes, but no problem with that. As a member of the NEA and the SCA, you have a host of member benefits that you can use in order to better serve your community, yourself, also talk about what Todd was talking about with mental health and everything like that. So one thing I love to do as far as like mental health and mindfulness is traveling. The NEA has a host of member benefits. When I mean benefits as far as like cruise benefits, they have like up to 60% off on cruises right now, especially with the holidays. They have cashback opportunities. There are discounts at a variety of places. Some of the favorite places that I would like to use, I was actually looking at them because Christmas is coming around and we need to figure out if you're like me and we do late Christmas gifts sometime, I'm so sorry. But there is a lot of discounts available for like different places that you can buy gifts and stuff from. Like, for example, there's discount at I'm pretty sure it's Nike. I'm just a lot of other places that you can use. If you go, okay, I'm not sure how to share my screen, but Todd, can you share your screen if possible? Do you have the link?
I don't. Can you put it in the chat?
Yes, I will.
And then you can share your screen. I enabled it, but I don't.
Okay.
I can't find the agenda, or I would share it.
Okay. I can share my screen. There's also a video that we can watch.
Yeah, we'll show the video if you have the link.
Yes, I do. I'm going to send you the link on here. Or can somebody send the link to Todd?
Yeah,
I have my iPad and my phone.
Yeah, here, I'll go ahead and drop it in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yes, also, if you have not accepted your member benefits as a member of the NEA, please accept your benefits because there's like a $500 travel credit. Please accept that. There's also up to like a $10,000 life insurance benefit, I guess, that you would need if you know somebody passed or anything like that. There's also like I said, a lot of travel savings or savings on hotels, savings on flights, savings on cruises, just a host of things that you are able to access as a member of the NEA and the SCA. I think she put in the chat.
Is it in there?
Yeah, I'm looking for a video. I don't see a video.
Oh,
Mm.
the video, if you scroll down towards the bottom, yeah, somebody's on it.
I see it, Brianna. That's not a video. That just links us to the, hold on, maybe that is, let me see what that is. Hold on. See if I can bring that up. Let's see what happens here. Oh, let's see what I got. Yeah, that just links to the website. That doesn't link to a video. Maybe
Okay,
here.
it's okay.
Hold on. I got it. I got it.
Thank
I
you.
think. Let's try it. Let's see what happens.
Okay, there it is. Thank you.
Discount Marketplace with cashback powered by Rakuten, where you can find great deals and earn cashback on everything from clothes and dining certificates to laptops and school supplies. Here's how to search for offers, shop online, and get your cashback rewards. After you sign in on neamb.com, go to the NEA Discount Marketplace page. First, you'll see 5 exclusive offers negotiated each month just for NEA members. You'll find these only on neamb.com, so check back often. Next, you'll see offers from thousands of retailers. You can browse by category or type in the store name. You can also sort stores alphabetically or by cashback amount. Plus, downloading the Rakuten Cashback button extension makes it even easier to find cashback deals when you shop online. Once you've found a great deal, click on the offer box. If you don't already have a Rakuten account through NEA member benefits, you'll be prompted to agree to signing up for one. Existing Rakuten users must link their neamb.com sign-in email to access our exclusive monthly offers. Once you're logged in, you'll go directly to the retailer site, where you'll shop as you normally do. Within a few days, you can check your cashback balance on Rakuten.com to verify your cashback earnings. Rewards are paid quarterly by check, PayPal direct deposit, or American Express membership rewards points. It's your choice. You can even refer your colleagues and get a cashback bonus. The more you buy, the more cashback you'll earn. So shop for everything you need all year long through NEA Discount Marketplace.
All right.
Thank you, Todd. Honestly, I want to sum that up by saying, why not get paid to go shopping? I think that's just the highlight of it. The benefits of being an NEA member is far beyond my spectrum of thinking, honestly. Not only do you have benefits to discounts of travel and stores and all that stuff, you also have benefits of family members. Here are my selected family that I chose. You also have a community. You also have opportunities to the cool website of mindfulness, mental health. It's so many things available for you as a member of the NEA. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Help yourself. I'm going to hand it over back to Alexandria.
All right. Well, Brianna, that was amazing. And she's also our co-chair too for the upstate region, doing an amazing job up there. And so that was a really good tidbit too, because I think sometimes like when we go to these places, like sometimes we don't ask for deals or offers to be like, hey, what do you guys have? And I know like sometimes like we take our teacher badges, be like, do you guys offer a teacher discount? And do not be afraid to ask, because there might be some places that you have not expected that would do discounts, and they do. So when you do go onto the NEA marketplace, they have a lot of great deals, things that are just pretty much available to everybody that piques their interest. And then that way somebody has something that is available to them. So that was awesome. And
Download the app.
Yes, and download the app if you have not done so, because you guys, you do not want to miss out on some really good things there, especially with those cruise deals that are coming up. So that was amazing. Thank you, Brianna. All right, so next we have Tyler Gross. And y'all, this is a really good topic as well for early educators, praxis. I know that there was a time that we all had to take praxis for our different grade levels. And so, Tyler, if you are still online, and y'all, she's doing such an amazing job too in the PD region. Just kind of give us some updates about our newsletter and what to expect for praxis for those that might not be too familiar with it.
Yeah, all right. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Tyler. I'm in the PD area. So I just shared in the link our December newsletter. If you're not connected already with the newsletter, please email either your region person, so myself, Angelica, Brianna, one of us, or Keneal, and we can definitely get you connected to it. But as Alexandria said, there is so many great things. I feel like I scroll through the newsletter and I see something different each time I view it. And one of the big things on this newsletter, and it's kind of about halfway through, is you can sign up for free praxis support. So even if you've already passed your praxis, I know a lot of us have considered going back for masters. I'm currently in a master's program. I have to take praxis again at the end of it for this new program. And if you're not done with praxis yet, I know some people are on the alternative track or getting their certification while they do their first couple years of teaching. Free praxis support is probably the best resource that we can provide. Yeah, there's the newsletter. And it's 2 links on there. So there's core test prep, and then there's also praxis study sessions. And the sessions will start in February, but you have to register by the end of January. I think it's January 21st, it says. And they're completely free. It's through the NEA, so it's all going to be given through people who understand what the test is and what you need to do your best on the test. And that's definitely, of all the things in the newsletter, that's probably one of the biggest things I saw, that if I was still working towards passing praxis, I would have jumped on that right away. Keneal, did you have something to share? I saw your hand.
Yeah. So one thing I want to add is that if you take those praxis sessions with NEA that are on that second button and you turn in your results to them, they will reimburse you for the price of the praxis exam.
Oh, okay. That's even better because praxis is expensive. So definitely take that. That's not a benefit I knew about, but that is a very good one. But yeah, and there's also some other great things in the newsletter. If you haven't added your Amazon wish list yet, that link is right underneath praxis. I know personally my wish list was selected back in the summer, and that helped fund my makerspace for my students, which is a big hit. So definitely add your wish list. We post updates. All of our information is on there. Currently, the Midlands, the Low Country have a winter gathering coming up, and all the information for that is on there. But lots of great information on the newsletter. Definitely recommend getting signed up for it if you're not already.
All right. Well, thank you, Tyler, and y'all too. With praxis, we know that sometimes that can be a really not nerve-wracking experience, but as far as pushing into that certification and getting to the area that you want to get to, please check that out. And like what Keneal was saying, once you get your results turned in, turn those into the NEAs through their website that they have provided. And then that way you can also be reimbursed for each praxis exam that you do have to take. So Tyler, thank you so much for that information, as well as all the great things that we have coming up on our newsletter. That was awesome. All right. And for our closing remarks, we have Ajon Brown. And Ajon, am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, you are.
Okay. It's nice to have you. And y'all, Ajon Brown, we got to give him a round of applause because he is actually helping with the building of our foundation with our babies, our preschoolers. And congratulations to your acceptance into your master's program as a co-op.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And so, Ajon, we're just going to give you the floor for closing remarks, and thank you for coming on tonight as well.
Thank you so much. I just want to give you a round of applause because you just have done amazing this evening, especially all of you guys. Angelica, I just love hearing y'all talk. Y'all have such a soothing, just like calming voice. I can hear y'all talk all day. But I just wanted to come on and say thank you all for joining us tonight. We've been working really hard. I will say STEAM is trying to make a big impact in South Carolina, especially for our early career educators. So thank you to everyone who took the time out of our busy schedules to come and talk about very important topics in education right now. And I just hope everyone remembers this time of the year is busy. It's a lot of hustle and bustle. We're just all going up and down. But just remember, like Mr. Scholl said, like we all have been saying, to take time for yourself and to just enjoy the season. Make sure that you eat some good food, watch some movies, and just enjoy and relax, because in January we're gonna be right back at it. So that's all I had to say. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all.
Thank you. All right, you guys. And Camille, I don't know if you're still there, but if you wanted to give any extra remarks before we sign off for tonight.
I just want to make sure that everyone understands the value that it really we have here. When we all come together, we've got our aspiring educators that are turning into scene members who are active in their local chapters of the SCEA. And what that means is we help get people elected that love educators and students, that we make sure that we prioritize one another, we create better working conditions. We can't do that when we close our doors by ourselves in our classrooms. We have to come together in spaces like this to love each other, support each other, and stand up for each other and for our students. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Thank you, scene reps, for making this happen. And we want to make sure we have a social in every region of the state, and that you invite all your friends. And we hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.
And thank you, Camille. And y'all, can we give like Camille like some snaps or something? Like for her being our chairperson, she has been doing amazing. I always say like she's like our extra hype woman of just making sure that we have everything we need and just always, you know, jumping here, jumping there. But she does it so gracefully and so effortlessly. So Camille, we really appreciate you for that. And Todd, did you want to say anything as well before we sign off?
Just how much I appreciate all of you and Keneal as well. Just be careful when Keneal's driving, her whole personality changes. So just watch out. That personality changes harsh when she's, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Good to see everyone tonight.
Awesome. And Todd, we thank you too, because you're always standing in the gap of just, you know, making sure that we're good with our big conferences, our small conferences, always checking in on us. So you do a fantastic job. All right, well, you guys, as our first statewide scene call, I think that this was a really, really great call tonight. And thank you so much for taking the time out of our schedules. I know that we've been so busy today, feeling like we've been pulled in different directions, but to come here tonight and just gather together is just a really, really great thing to see. And I'm very excited for our next steps for scene. All right, well, you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. Be strong. We don't have too much longer, and get some much needed rest. Good night,
Happy
everyone.
holidays. Take care.
Happy holidays, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.